Hi everyone, I'm Bob Bannister from iManageAcademy.com, and we're just going to spend a few moments thinking about how we as managers create engaged employees. It's a really important thing. Organisations want their employees to be engaged, but a big part of the responsibility for that is in the hands of the manager. Now, how does the manager behave, and does the manager behave in a way that encourages the employees to be engaged? So I've got 6 ideas that I want to share with you, 6 important things that really will help you as a manager to work at engaging your staff, your team, your people. The first thing is this: you have to help your people to get the strategy. Engaged people understand what the organisation is doing, what its aim is. Within the academy here, we talk about the golden thread, the link from strategic aims and goals and vision at the top of an organisation down through objectives and actual operational tasks, the things that are doing every day. And we like to really think through what are the steps as you go down that golden thread. But the fundamental is this: your people need to understand how what they're doing contributes to the bigger picture of what the organisation is going to do, and so they're looking to buy in to what the organisation is doing. So that's the first thing. You've got to help them to get the strategy. The second thing links fairly closely to that, and that is to communicate freely and frequently. Now, part of that has to be about the communication, the strategy in this golden thread, helping people to understand and see and hear how what they do connects with what the organisation is trying to achieve. But it's way bigger than that. Communicating freely is about eliminating political conversation, small p politic in an organisation where people don't feel they can say something, or you're not able to say something because of local politics. Well, we want to create environments where people are open to really share and connect, and we need as managers to be open in our communications and very frequent in our communication. One of my favourite pieces of work about change management comes from John Cotter, and he makes the point actually that a lot of organisations just under-communicate the vision because they say it a few times. And it's like pouring a bucket of dye into the River Thames. It just disperses because people are receiving so many words, so much information, that you really have to communicate these things a lot and very frequently before they really start to sink in and be embedded in people's minds. So, second thing, communicate freely and frequently. The third thing I want to suggest we need to do if we're going to engage our employees is the reverse of kind of us communicating with them. It's allowing them to have their say. People will feel engaged when they feel that they are contributing to an outcome, a purpose, a direction. They need to feel that they're invested in it, they're being listened to. None of us would like the doctor who just writes out a prescription without listening to us. And so none of us likes the manager who just prescribes what we've got to do without listening to our view of how we should go about doing something. So the third thing is really critical, creating the space to be a listening manager and listen to what our people have to say in all kinds of situations. And encourage that too, draw it out of people, ask people what their opinion is, what they're thinking in any given situation. So encourage them to have that free flow of communication back to you, as well as you communicating freely and frequently to them. Okay, the fourth thing on my list of 6 is this: if we're going to have engaged employees, we need to help them to love what they do. Nobody is engaged with something that they find tedious or tiresome or they don't enjoy doing. So we need to work at helping those individuals really find some motivation in what they do and enjoyment in what they do. There's a lot of talk about kind of the fish idea, the concept of kind of even a fish market, a cold, wet, slimy fish market can be fun. If you go to Seattle, if you Google actually Seattle fish market, you can see there's stalls there, fish stalls, and they're throwing the fish about. So it's a circus basically. and they're making something cold and wet and damp and potentially a miserable job into something that's fun and enjoyable to do. So the more we can think about that as managers and think about how do we create an environment that people can really love what they do and look forward to coming to work rather than see it as a real cold, wet and damp thing to do, something that's really not enjoyable. And I would argue you can, create an enjoyable environment in almost any walk of life that you're in. The fifth thing I want to suggest we need to do as managers to engage employees is provide a safe environment for them to experiment. What we have to do is allow the opportunity for mistakes and building on that and trying again and learning from that, because people will be engaged if they can try things out, if they can do things a new way and see how that goes. If they are learning in that process, they will be engaged. I think I've changed job in my career over the years when I felt the learning has stopped, when I've run out of learning, when the experience has stopped being experimental, everything's so known, everything's so ordered, and there's no change to anything. You lose interest at that point and you want a new challenge. So provide a safe environment for people to have that challenge, to experiment and try new things out. Then the final thing I want to suggest if we're going to engage our employees is this. Empower your people to go beyond their role, to use their discretion. We might talk of discretionary behaviour within an organisation, encouraging people to go above and beyond the call of duty. Now, what we want to do is create an environment where it's like a little city, like a little town where people are members of that society and they want to contribute to and get involved in that society. So they will go above and beyond the call of duty. People will give back to the environment that they're in. And we want to create business environments that are like that, where people are encouraged to help out, to support, to use their discretion in situations. And sometimes, they can't do that. It might be about an authority level. I can't use my discretion beyond, an authority level that I might have. It might be a financial authority level or something that is already set within the organisation. Well, those things will always exist. But what I'm talking about here is creating people within your organisation that are encouraged to help out, explore again, get involved in projects and activities around the organisation that will give them new experience and new learning. So 6 ideas that we should play with as managers. We should kind of work these through if we want to create employees that are engaged. Now there's a guy called Bob Nelson who is a bit of a guru in reward and recognition areas. And he talks about actually, once people have a level of salary, a remuneration package that they think is fair for the job they do within the society that they live. Once that's kind of in place and more or less okay, there's a whole bunch of other things that causes people to be engaged and motivated. And those things, kind of summarised clearly in these 6 areas. Help them get the strategy, communicate freely and frequently, allow them to have their say, provide the safe environment for them to experiment, and empower your people to go beyond their role. Now, why don't you join us at iManageAcademy.com. We would love to see you over there. There's a wealth of free information in the free taster toolkit. We'd love you to come and click on the page, see that free toolkit, sign up and see all the learning that's there. There's a whole pile of different subjects and topic content that will be useful to you, no cost. So come and join us at iManageAcademy.com.